East Boston, for most of us my age or older growing up here in Boston, Eastie was always a predominantly Italian-American neighborhood. And while many of the area's traditional Italian families still reside and remain very active, there is a new layer of newly arrived immigrants and their children, some even born in Boston, who have come here from Colombia, El Salvador, Mexico, and other Latin American countries. Now you add to that even more diversity when there's a new generation of young professionals coming into that neighborhood, gives you an even more dynamic mix. Mayor Marty Walsh promised commitment to diversity, and it's already manifested itself in East Boston, where recently he has named Claudia Correa, a Colombian American and also a young professional, as the area's liaison to Boston City Hall. So we now welcome to the show East Boston liaison for Mayor Marty Walsh. Who would have known? Claudia Correa, welcome to the show, Claudia.
Alberto, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
It's more than an honor. And
This is not your first time, but this is your first time as liaison in East Boston.
correct, yes, yeah.
So I want to start with that, because what do you consider yourself? You're Colombian, you're American, you're Eastie. I mean, how do you describe yourself when people say, what are you?
Very good question. I mean, first and foremost, Colombian. But once I moved to East Boston, I just consider myself a Latina, just who pretty much grew up in East Boston.
Absolutely.
Yeah, most of my life.
Yeah. So Eastie, right? We call it Eastie, right?
Eastie, yep.
Eastie. Now, let's start with this. Diversity in Boston.
Correct.
Just last week, big headlines. We're going to put that statistic up. 1 out of every 5 Bostonians is now Latino. So practically 20% of the city. I know Jen Gross is going to look for that statistic right now. There it is. 1 of every 5 Bostonians is Latino. So when you talk of the makeup of Boston, completely different than we were growing up, correct?
Correct, yes. So throughout the years, for the past 15, 20 years, as you may already know, even some of the new generation, like you previously mentioned, those kids actually were born here, but mainly from the families that have come from Latin America and South America for the past 20, 25 years. And this has led to the current statistics right now, even in East Boston, more than 50% of the population are Latinos. And across the city, as you might mention it, 1 out of 5 are Latinos.
1 out of 5, and Boston is now considered a majority-minority city. Could you briefly explain that to folks? I'm going to say majority-minority city, right? That means more residents are of non-white or race. So we are now a majority-minority city.
Correct, yes. So not just in East Boston, as you already know, across the city, if you look at Roxbury, Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, it's just, as you mentioned it, right now the majority of the residents of Boston are minority. And this is also what has led Mayor Walsh to doing his new administration for his commitments to the diversity across the neighborhood.
You are one of the, like I said, he committed to diversity. He's done many things, and I know he's not done. But East Boston, to have a Colombian American, a Latina who really, you're kind of his eyes and ears for that area, the entire area. So what's going on in East Boston? Because I hear a lot of stuff that it's the new hot place. I mean, we're looking at some of the statistics here that you mentioned, Lawrence, Chelsea, and East Boston, but a lot of good stuff in East Boston.
Correct, yeah. So throughout the years, East Boston has grown as more like a commercial neighborhood.
Right.
And this is thanks to the small businesses, which are the majority are Latino-owned businesses. Right now, we can also see a change. Once again, like every city, every 10, 15 years, the people that live there changes. But right now, we can definitely even see after 20 years, we get in a new group in East Boston, which is also changing the neighborhood. But it is also giving the value to what's already there, which is the Latin flavor, the restaurants, the stores, and many of the young professionals that lived on, let's say, in the Back Bay area, Charlestown, now see East Boston as that little jewel that has everything to offer, from the diversity in, let's say, in stores, and once again, in cuisine. People, you can see it now, the restaurants are even more packed than before, because people are going after the quesadillas, the Colombian food, the Peruvian food, and such.
Well, I want to have you on today just to introduce you, just to get your face on camera, para que las personas te conozcan, the new liaison for East Boston, Claudia Correa. When you come back, because we're going to do a lot more with Viva East Boston, I want to hear about the green space, the Wi-Fi, the outdoor seating. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on, right?
A lot of stuff, yes. So, and this, once again, this is mainly for the initiative Mayor Walsh, that he knows East Boston is a great community. There is a lot of things that we're bringing to East Boston as we speak.
Viva East Boston.
Viva East
I like
Boston.
it. All right, Claudia, we'll be seeing you. Thank you very much.
Alberto. Thanks.
All right, en unos momentos, la bonita historia del primer izamiento de la bandera colombiana, para que aprenda usted un poco de la historia, que se hizo en Boston hace 23, 24 años. Ya regresamos aquí con los detalles en Revista Hispana.